Welcome back to AI 575 with Arrow. This is the Grizzly Games. So my aim point here is the bottom of the green arrow, bottom of the bottom arrow, right with the bottom of the bubble. Top of the disc is splitting the second Wi-Fi curve. This is an accurate windbreak river, and I like to just kind of sneak it through those two trees and hit that ace. I love it. Recommend grinding for the ace if you're trying to maximize or challenge the valley scores, but it's a little bit harder for the AI attorneys, so something to weigh the pros and cons of. Here my aim point is, I believe, the bottom of the bottom arrow, and I'm kind of to the right of these two trees here. I love using the accurate windbreak river on this shot as well. It's not enough juice to ace run it, so if you do want to run it, I tend to mainly use either the accurate glide or accurate windbreak musket. Yeah. On this one, wind dependent, I'll either leave the slider as is. In this case, I slid it all the way to the left. And then I'm using the bottom of the middle arrow just over the fence. And you can see that, the little fence. You're just trying to, I think what you want to do is just sneak it over the fence. That's like the ideal way to get a good skip. But in this case, I put a little bit too much anhyzer on it, clipped the tree, and it leaves me with 102 feet to go, so not loving that. But I'm just kind of, in this time I'm using the horizontal line of the bubble because I can't really see the top end here. And then I'm treating it, where my disc is, the top of it, is about 130 feet. That's my marker there. So I loved spiking that eagle. Again, I think to maximize your Grizzly Gulch score, you want to probably grind for the ace on 1, and then you want to hit the eagles on 3, 5, and 6. So here I'm doing a full send, I believe. Maybe not quite full send with the accurate windbreak musket. And it was actually not a good drive. I tend to power that down, but with the 3 wind, I thought I could give it some kind of ace run. But it wasn't a very good ace run, so it was kind of on the more dangerous side. And then anytime you leave yourself like 60 plus feet even in a 3 wind, you might not spike it. You probably will if you dial in your throw-ins, but who knows. Here I'm using the bottom of the top arrow, kind of right on the edge of the bridge, and then a little bit to the right of that, kind of splitting the distance between the right edge of the bridge and the tree on the right ledge there, and you can see it goes, kind of sneaks through. And I just don't make the ledge, which is just so disappointing. But I like that line because even if you don't make a ledge, you generally have a pretty makeable shot at an eagle look still here. So from 80 feet on the ground with a 1 wind, I'm on the right side of the top band, and I'm treating this like it's about 110, maybe more like 100, I think like 110 feet. I think the top of the disc is splitting the first Wi-Fi curve. And then I'm just playing the camera pan, hoping I can spike this second eagle, and I get it. Again, always in the throw-ins, whether I'm going low, whether I'm going uphill, downhill, or straight at it, trying to wind up in the bottom half of the chains as often as you can. So here my aim point is the bottom of the bottom arrow, and I think it was pointed on the bottom right corner of the tee in feet. And then I put some anhyzer on it. I think I tend to do full disc anhyzer, and this I maybe didn't get enough. Yeah, need to probably put a little bit more to be safe. So we got a little lucky there. 43 feet in a 1 wind though, and that's pretty routine. So easy putt with the accurate glide pier there. Okay, moving right along into 7. This one can be tricky, especially depending on the wind. In a 1 wind, I was tempted to ace run it. I don't remember if I actually did that. Yeah, so no, it looks like I'm just trying to get the safest bid there, but full send with the accurate windbreak musket. And I think I'm kind of trying to generally be in line, in a vertical line with the bubble is what I'm playing there. So I don't love being behind that tree. I think now my play is to use accurate glide musket probably most often, and then put a little bit of hyzer on it so I can get out more into this open clearing to the right of where I am now. So here I'm thinking I'm going to get a little bit of collision, but with the putt it shouldn't affect the disc all that much. So I think I aim just a little bit higher than I would if the tree wasn't in my way, but otherwise I'm just treating it like a pretty normal putt, and then that ends up working out for me. So I was like, oof, didn't mess up the run. I think at this point my record on Grizzly Gulch, because I really hadn't tried super hard to improve it, was it 12? Okay, here it's the bottom of the bottom arrow on a vertical line there's a little tree below the ramp, and then I'm almost full anhyzer here. I go a little bit too far to the right there, but I'd rather air to the right over on this like cliff area and these trees and whatever. That's a better look than putting not enough anhyzer on it, because then you could definitely go swimming. So I think I always pick a direction to air. And then here I just totally forgot my distance markers for this specific uphill shot. It's a lot more uphill than, say, the uphill nature of like Crow's Nest 9. So I think it said I just didn't use enough power here. I kind of have the top of the disc at the bottom of the second curve, and I don't think that's going to cut it if I remember right. I think I need to be like another, the rim of the disc, I need to be like another width of a wide fire curve below that to give a good run at it. But I end up with an easy birdie, and that's all right. So as long as I can birdie this one, I think that might give me my first 13 under. I can't remember if this is my first 13 under or just another 13 under, but that's my personal best on Grizzly Gulch still as a 13. You pretty much need that ace to begin with. And then here I'm pretty much always using either Accurate Glide Musket, which is, I believe, what I used here, yeah. Either Accurate Glide Musket or Wind Glide Recoil. But yeah, I think you need to grind for the ace on 1, hit the eagles on 3, 5, and 6, and hit that Sidewinder ace on 8 in order to get the 14, which is the Challenge the Valley course record on Grizzly Gulch. But just trying to keep this going. The tournament record for this is 25 down. So if I can still eagle 3, 5, and 6, and then birdie out the rest, I should be good. This time I think I used the Glide Wind Recoil. Yeah, and that's a pretty good play. I sometimes like hitting actually that left wall because then it'll kind of ricochet back into the cave and not end up too high on the ramp. Sometimes those downhill shots, especially in like a 3 wind, can leave you with a semi-tough comebacker. So with this wind, I got a little bit of a tail on it. I think I'm going to see me try this line again. So right there, I'm on the vertical line with the tree. You can see it's just below the green arrows. And the bottom of the bottom arrow is like right on the crest of the ramp. And then I'm not quite all the way to the left on this anhyzer. Playing the camera pan, and again, airing more to the right. This time you can see I get a little bit better of a curve here. A little bit of collision, which I didn't love. If I hadn't gotten that, it might have been even better on the ramp, but still in pretty good position. 184 feet with a 3 headwind, and the river won't make it all the way, so I think I was considering running this with an Accurate Windbreak Musket, and then it can't be quite full power. Got to power it down or you'll sail past the basket, and then you're bringing the OB on the other side into play. And I still kind of did, but it was a pretty decent run. It was a better shot than my last time on this. But you can see just a little bit too much power, and you're definitely bringing in like that bush, all the cliffside, and the trees on the backside into play. So it's a touchy shot unless you can get closer on the drive. Here, the bottom of the top arrow is on the bottom of the blue bubble, and it looks like I'm going with Accurate Windbreak Musket because I think the wind is just going to bring it into the side, so the natural initial turn of the musket should get pushed over by this wind, and I just sneak it in. I was so lucky. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think that's why I decided to disc up, and I just was running into that situation way too frequently with the Accurate Windbreak Musket, so now I recommend the Accurate Glide Musket on that hole. Here I think I'm going to take the same line as before, and I pretty much use this in most winds, which is the bottom of the bottom green arrow. Oh, did I take a different line here? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so I'm going to go to the right of these trees. So bottom of the bottom arrow, like right at the tip of a tree in the distance, and then full send with the Light Glide Ballista Pro. Yeah, there's all sorts of lines for this hole. I mean, there's the one that I used on the front 9. There's this one. Glad that worked out. There's Through the Tunnel, and then there's another backhand line too. That's like a heavier flex line. But glad that worked out. Here with a bit of a one tailwind, kind of see him like again lining up by the right edge of the bridge, and my aim point's the bottom of the top arrow. Again, splitting the distance between the right edge of the bridge and the tree that's like chilling on the ramp on the distance. It's like that's the spot that you're going for. So like that's the tree on the right that I'm talking about. This time I get a better angle and I end up on the top of the shelf. That is ideal for this hole and definitely what you're trying to execute most of the time if you're trying that line. Some people prefer to use a musket so they can just position themselves for like 100, 110 10 or so foot eagle look. Here, I'm using the bottom of the bottom arrow on the left side of the rock. Not quite full power, and a little bit of hyzer to sneak up. This is a much better drive, I think, than the first one. If you get the perfect drive on it, you can actually sneak up off that rock and turn it into an ace. But this is a dangerous one with the basket so close to the water, so I think the play here, unless you're, going for broke, is definitely to just do whatever you can do to get the birdie on that. So here, this is my least favorite wind on this hole. I hate this 3 right to left crosswind thing. So I'm pretty far on the right side of the fence there. Still doing a full disc anhyzer with the Glide Skip Ballista Pro. And just hoping against hope that it's 2 things you're looking out for. One is clipping that tree on the right with too much hyzer. And then the second, and this happens usually with the right to left wind, is not getting the right bounce off that hill. You get trapped behind it, and then you have like 130 feet to go. So with 81 feet in this wind, I'm on the right side of the basket, and the bottom of the top arrow, again, is like on a horizontal line with the bottom of the top band. And the top of the disc, I'm treating this like it's at about a 95-foot distance. And I'm just hoping I get enough lift, but not too much. That worked out. Almost a little bit too much fade. But man, that was I remember that was like a nerve. I was like, oh man, I'm about to mess this up right now. But I hit it. So again, with the one tailwind, I'm going to use the Accurate Windbreak River. This time, the bottom of the bottom arrow. Yeah, I guess I'm in a vertical line with the bubble then. I can't remember if I did that last time. I'll go anywhere from that vertical line with the bubble to the fence that you kind of want to squeak through if you're playing like a putter's only round. And then, pretty routine, throw in 51 feet, 1 headwind. That's about my marker for 50 feet, and that works out just great. So now I'm just hoping I can not mess up the final hole and close out this 25 under. When I run it, I'll use the Accurate Windbreak River. That's what I did in the front 9. When I don't, I'll use the Accurate Windbreak Fuse to just try to park it as close as I can to the basket. And I hit that tree, and I was like, oh my gosh. I remember thinking, I was like, I got this in the basket. I got it in the bag, and then I almost messed it up, but didn't. So 25 down, feel great about that. That still, as of this posting, matches the tournament record. So can't feel bad anytime you do that. And stay tuned for more B tiers in the coming week.